Some country escapes can be quite a juggling act.
We have set you quite a difficult task, I think, to suit both of us.
We'll rise to the challenge.
But paint a picture of the rural dream house.
If I could have drawn what we were looking for, that is it.
And before you know it, the imagination can be running wild.
I can imagine sitting along here, reading a book with a picnic blanket. It's quite special.
For those seeking an antidote to everything fast and furious, gentle is the watchword for today's escape. So take a bridge over troubled waters, slow down, and enter a world of curvaceous countryside, where the only extreme is the extremely beautiful Cotswolds view.
Climbing Mount Everest, parachuting, maybe seeing the Northern Lights. These are on many people's bucket list, but I'm going to suggest adding one more thing. Coming to the Cotswolds and hanging out in one of these heavenly villages, because unlike jumping out of a plane, which you might do, tick off your list and then never think about again, this is something you can do over and over and over again.
At 400 square miles, the Gloucestershire district of Cotswold covers over half of the larger area of outstanding natural beauty called the Cotswolds. And it holds many of the area's big draw locations. Hilltop highlight Stow on the Wold is a market town packed with archetypal stone buildings. Bourton on the Water has 5 18th century stone bridges spanning the river Windrush. And far from the madding crowd, photogenic corners include the village of Lower Slaughter, sitting timelessly in rolling farmland.
It's got the hills, the landscape, the trees, the farms. It's got market towns, it's got beautiful yellow stone. It's got it all.
You just think, I am so lucky to live here. It's like taking a big breath of air, and it's just full and green at the moment. Yeah, it's the dream.
Sometimes life can just be a bit hectic, can't it? And I found the answer, and many other people have found the answer, in moving to the countryside. And that thought is very much front and central in our buyers' thinking too. So let's meet them and find out about their busy lives.
So, yeah, like we just mentioned, so definitely...
Don't ever start. Can I just say to Natalie on your behalf, because it drives me mad. In television, never say like I just said, because they might be cutting it and not using what you just said. And it's one of the pet peeves in TV.
Turn around.
So never say like I just mentioned. It's a brand new answer.
No,
brand new.
They can edit it.
Married couple Lindsay, a television sports reporter, and her wife Natalie, a physiotherapist, took the first step of a country escape when they moved from London to the Surrey village of Chobham, just outside the M25.
This is our current 1950s bungalow that we have fully renovated since we've moved in about 4 years ago. I'm just taking a little video of our garden because that's going to be important in the move. I'm in charge of maintaining the garden. We'd like a lower maintenance garden, which will be easier for me to manage, and also somewhere that's secure for this little guy.
4 years on, they're looking to take things in an even more rural direction.
I think Chobham has been a great tester for us. We went within 25 minutes, half an hour, that we could get back into central London very quickly. And at that point, that was important to me. But I think that I've got to a stage now where I'm ready to leave that behind.
You're right, countryside, we want nice walks. And I think where we are in Chobham, it is, although it's a tiny village, it's really busy. The traffic flow through the village is insane.
They're after a location with both dog walks for Billy and dining for date nights.
So we went and explored different areas. A lot of places that are lovely that we went to go and see, but are maybe more family orientated. And I think in the Cotswolds, you've got that flow of people, eclectic mix, lots of diversity coming in and out all the time. And we don't have any children. If we want to be able to go and enjoy some nice meals out, have some expensive hobbies if we need to, because we're not hopefully going to be spending that money elsewhere.
Natalie and Lindsay have up to £600,000 to purchase a country home. They favour character houses, and Natalie has a preference for Cotswold stone. They want space for entertaining, including an open-plan kitchen, but are happy to settle on just 2 bedrooms. The garden must be dog-friendly and not too high maintenance, and they'd like a good choice of places to eat out within a short drive.
These seem like a really great couple and also very go-getting. I wonder if that will affect their house search, whether they want to be more remote, where things are slower and it takes longer to get everywhere, or whether they'd like to be more near a town and keep that sort of more peppy feel of being young and busy.
We're kicking off our house viewings in the Gloucestershire hamlet of Swells Hill. But before I show them the property, I want to get more of a handle on their hopes for the move. So we're stopping for a chat in the surrounding countryside.
Oh, welcome to the Cotswolds. Thanks for bringing me here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hello, the sun is blessing your house hunt.
very much so.
Are you excited? Because it's quite a big move for both of you, particularly in terms of, you know, a change in lifestyle.
I hope so. I think that's sort of part of the move for us, that we do get that time where we're not just ships passing in the night.
Yeah, I've got to try and find that work-life balance that everyone talks about, Alistair.
It sounds like you haven't really found it yet.
No, not
I'm
yet.
getting there.
You're getting there. So the idea is that you want to be not too remote, but near some sort of lifestyle-y things. You don't want to let go of the whole London lifestyle quite yet. So what's the sort of middle ground? Are you looking to be in a
Oh, it's a
town,
difficult one. I think we want the quietness and the tranquility of hearing the birds and maybe not having neighbours too close. But then we want to be able to jump in the car maybe 5-10 minutes and we've got the hustle and bustle of a nice village or high street or somewhere that we can go out and do date nights and things.
We have set you quite a difficult task, I think, to suit both of us.
We'll rise to the challenge. There's such gorgeous houses here, and they're all very different.
Can't wait.
So the first one is actually just around the corner.
Wow.
Come with me.
The nearest amenities to the first house are in the village of Brimscombe, where you can pick up groceries and find a couple of places to eat and drink. Buses run to the market town of Stroud, a couple of miles away, where there's a mainline train station. The nautically named pub harks to the arrival both of rail and canal, connections to the coast that grew a small community of cottage weavers into a busy location of textile mills, buildings that can still be seen in the village. This cloth-making heritage is a thread that carries into our first property, which is perched atop the hillside in the nearby hamlet of Swells Hill.
Ta-da-da-da-da-da. Here we have it.
Wow.
It was a weaver's cottage, and actually the top floor would have been where the loom was.
It's definitely ticking all the boxes for me from the outside. That looks very impressive. I love it.
And also the location is fantastic.
I know, look at that view.
They call this the Brimscombe Bowl, and you're sitting right on the rim.
Wow.
I love that. That's the best that we've seen in anything that we've ever gone to see.
But, oh, there's a but coming.
Some of these little lanes to get here were quite hair-raising.
Right.
The manoeuvres, but,
But is it worth it?
well, we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see if it's worth it.
Let's take a look inside.
Probably dating to the 17th century with buttresses added in the 19th, the cottage is featured in a book called Cotswold Stone Homes. Given that's something Natalie in particular is after, I'm keeping everything crossed for the characterful interiors. starting with a large central reception.
Come into the main room.
So this is exactly what I like. It's got the beam features, which we really like.
Yeah.
The fireplace.
It's really cosy.
I think this is ample living space. What I'm just interested, because you can't see at the moment, is the kitchen. I can tell that you'll be interested to know.
I know. I was going to say, I think that it's more me because I don't want to feel cut off in there. You know, if you've got people in here socialising.
Makes it sound like no, slaving away.
Lynn's doesn't often go in the
Ding,
kitchen.
ding, 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 Natalie, my glass is empty.
There's a bed out there which I could bring inside. That does do a lot of the cooking.
Right. Let's have a look at the kitchen.
Like many older period homes, this cottage had to be extended to accommodate the concept of a kitchen. That's where one of the 19th century side buttresses comes in.
It's not too dissimilar to our kitchen currently.
Yeah, it's actually quite light because you've got the kind of dual aspect. You look at that view, you could be stood here washing up and...
The white goods are in the utility at the back. But is it workable? That's the question.
It's possibly workable, I'm not sure yet.
Well, it has 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
The real killer views are from the main bedroom, which is all the way up the stairs, so lead the way.
Hey.
The bedrooms are set over 2 further levels, and I want to start at the top with an outlook that looms over the surrounding countryside. Wait for the wow.
Wow!
There it is.
So, the view you have certainly delivered on that front. Feels like a hotel.
It does, it's huge actually.
But Nat will tell you how much of a wardrobe I have at home. Lots of clothes.
Yeah.
Lots of space. Oh, not enough.
Maybe not enough.
You've got all of these built in as well.
OK, well, would you like to have a look around?
Yes.
Maybe the floor below, and then I'll meet you in the garden and we can talk about the price.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Head on down.
If Lindsay's concerned about cutting her cloth according to storage, there are 2 more bedrooms on the floor below the former loom room, starting with a guest double.
Good size. Good size. And also another bit of wardrobe space, which I could definitely accost.
So it's definitely bigger than I expected, actually.
Lovely.
The cottage bathroom is also on this level, featuring grey staggered bond tiling. And there's a smaller 3rd bedroom set into the eaves of another side buttress.
But actually, this would work really nicely for an office.
Yeah.
And again, a bit of storage up there. But it's a good size.
Yep, I
Isn't
like it.
Kitchen, for me, is the biggie. I think it's a little bit too small.
Oh, this is an incredible view. It's an amazing cottage. I think Lindsay really warmed up as we went through the house, whereas Natalie kind of cooled down once she'd seen the kitchen. But, I mean...
The garden is all on this front side of the cottage and includes an area for seating. A footpath runs close for Billy's daily dog walks, but with a couple of points of compromise already flagged up, it may all come down to the price.
So I know that you've got some reservations about the kitchen and the approach, but what do you think the price tag on this Cotswold cottage from the 1700s?
I think that the view comes at a premium. I'm going to go at £590.
Okay. £590,000.
I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'll go 595.
Well, actually, in this case, Natalie wins.
Yay.
Because it's actually on the market for £600,000.
Okay.
Yeah, top end.
Would you like to go back in and have another look?
I think for now we'll move on to the next one, and we can always come back and compare. I think we need a comparison.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's go compare.
Okay.
This 17th century weaver's cottage has not quite woven a spell over Lindsay and Natalie, but with period features, 3 bedrooms, a good-sized garden and wonderful views, it might yet reel them in.
The chocolate box quintessential cottage in the Cotswolds. It's absolutely beautiful. The garden is stunning. You can't beat views like that. And I could imagine us sitting here having gin and tonic in the evening, looking at this beautiful countryside. Yeah, spectacular. Really, really good start.
It delivered on so much, and I find myself in just bewilderment that I actually have reservations about this property because it ticks so much of what we want.
One thing Natalie and Lindsay are seeking from their new countryside location is access to a good range of places to eat and drink.
Look at the bunting and the gorgeous little shops. Look at that.
It's very English, isn't it?
It is.
The Gloucestershire market town of Cirencester is often called the capital of the Cotswolds, as it's the largest town in the area. It offers everything from coffee culture to casual dining.
Little wine tapas.
Oh gosh,
Could you imagine maybe sitting out here on an evening? And
That's right up my street.
We'll reserve our table for date night. We will definitely be here. Wow.
And many places welcome canine companions too.
Wow.
Billy could have
look,
his
it has
ice
to
cream.
say dog ice cream.
Local buses take in towns such as Cheltenham and Swindon, whilst National Express runs to and from London Victoria, with a journey time of just under 2.5 hours. The wide market square, overlooked by the clock of St John the Baptist Church Tower, hosts the regular weekly market on Mondays and Fridays. Shoppers can also enjoy exploring the pedestrian lanes.
It feels like it's more independence than it is big brands, isn't it?
Which is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
One Cotswold resident who recently set up a business, establishing a kitchen garden and cafe on the outskirts of town, is Sam Lawson-King.
Obviously for me and Linz, who are sort of hopefully relocating from Surrey, not knowing the area too well, tell us what's so good about Cirencester.
Oh, where to start, right? And the beautiful thing about Cirencester, it is a working Cotswold town where it's still chocolate box, it's still beautiful, it's still got nooks and crannies and a beautiful tourist trade, but there's a real sense of community here.
So how do you go about picking the produce then that you grow here?
So our kitchen garden was established only in February, so it's still quite young. We've got to keep it simple, is number one priority. You know what, we need to do a burger, we need to do it really well.
So speaking our language.
so it's do the basics well, and then source it locally. So use everyone within Cirencester.
We are big foodies. We like places to go, different places, when I don't go to the same place all the time. One of my reservations about coming to the Cotswolds, even though I do think I'm ready, are you satisfied that there's enough to do around here?
Yeah, I'm with you. You're never gonna match that big city vibe. But what we do is we do it differently. It's a sleepier way of life around here, and I think that has its beauties as well as that hustle and bustle of London. Of course, there's great restaurants here. There's great wine bars. You can still get that oat milk flat white that you're after. So yeah, I think it's gonna be slightly different, but there's certainly something for you.
Well, it seems like there's enough on the menu here for Lindsay and Natalie. Now to see if we can find a property that whets their appetite. My next option is in the village of Kingscote. Here you'll find a couple of pubs, an organic farm shop and a good choice of dog walks in the surrounding countryside. A village hall hosts various happenings through the year. Fun and sociable residents are also invited to join the Kingscote Commune, a group of locals who regularly meet up for drinks. The house we've come to see could put Natalie and Lindsay in the heart of this very neighbourly enclave.
Step in to see our next candidate.
Wow.
I love this already.
Yeah?
Very nice.
I'm fairly blown away. If I could have drawn what we were looking for, that is it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great location. All the neighbours here, they like meet in the evenings and drink G&T.
Oh, that's up my
You'll,
street.
I'm sure you'll be happy about that. Yeah.
I have to say as well, when I walked in, it was pretty breathtaking seeing this garden. It's exactly what we pictured.
They've done it really well.
And there's more to the garden that you haven't seen, a little bit of a secret.
Ooh.
Oh, well, let's look indoors first.
This attached Cotswold stone home is the end cottage of 3, built in the 19th century for workers of a nearby country estate. It's been more recently extended to the side to provide a generous oak timber porch.
Thank you.
Amen.
And a hall that leads to a kitchen diner spanning the rear of the home.
I wonder what you think of this.
Ooh. Wow. I can imagine myself being in here cooking and doing whatnot, and you can still socialise with everybody. So yeah, that's really nice.
It feels like there's a flow. I love the entrance, actually, because there's so much room for coats, boots.
Yeah. Just feels nice, light, airy.
Shall we look in the living space?
Completing this floor is a separate reception room.
Has a great feel.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's lovely to get lots of light in.
I really like it. I've got a really good feel. And people who live here from our own hearts, a bar area.
Will we be keeping that?
Yes.
But I'm not going to send you upstairs because I want you to explore upstairs. That's lovely bedrooms. And then when you're done, come and meet me outside this back door because I'm going to show you the surprise.
Oh, OK.
Exciting. Thank you.
So good.
Stairs from the hall lead to the 3 bedrooms, starting with the principal, set into the cross-gable roof space.
Ooh, beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. What a great room.
It looks as well like a king bed to me, which is nice, big spreading
Well, the
out.
fact that you've got 2 chests of drawers either side is really good. I like this.
Located just across from this is the cottage bathroom.
Wow. Look at that.
Oh, it's very well done.
You don't often see that, do you?
The smallest of 2 guest rooms is tucked away at the back of the home.
This would be an ideal space for potentially an office.
It could be.
But also, you could easily have a single bed in here.
Oh yeah, you'd easily fit that. Yeah. But I kind of think instead of using it as an office, because I quite like the little, you've got a nice
little
look
area
out
here.
here.
And bedroom 3 provides a second guest room.
In terms of space, this delivers on quite a lot of things that we wanted.
Yeah. I'm liking it. Let's go and find Alistair.
Let's try and guess the price.
Hold your horses, because we're not done yet.
Hello.
Hello.
Have you seen everything in there?
We have.
We like what we see.
I know you do.
We definitely
But
do.
I wonder if you're like this. Follow the Pied Piper.
Oh, okay.
I'm delighted to reveal that not only does this come with that very dog-friendly south-facing garden stretching out from the front, a shared path across the back of the neighbouring cottages takes us to a separate parcel of land.
And then you come to your allotment.
We have an allotment.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a cabin with power and broadband.
Another surprise. Look at this.
Wow. So is this shared by the 3 cottages?
No,
then,
this is
or-
yours. And then there are other parcels that belong to the other cottages. We were thinking this would be a great place for you to maybe run your physio building.
It could well be. It's a great space.
I've got to get my head around something, though. It's the walking through the neighbours'
Ah, yeah.
land and garden, and I'm just not sure. It's that unknown.
Well, I guess those are all factors to think about.
Wow.
Another factor is the price.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to go for 580,000.
In my mind, I think I'm somewhere near the £560,000 mark.
Well, you're both a bit short, I'm afraid, because it's on the market for £595,000.
Just got to think. I think this is one to think on.
I've got to persuade you, haven't I?
One person's bonus is another's source of concern. Having an asking price just under budget, this extended and attached 19th century workers' cottage has the flow from kitchen diner to reception room downstairs and 3 bedrooms upstairs. There's a dog-friendly garden and a separate plot for growing veg, plus a well-appointed cabin with internet connection.
This house has definitely pulled on my heartstrings. I can see us here. I can imagine sort of little Billy running around, going in the garden. I can see us, you know, socialising in this space, me in the kitchen. It's got everything that we asked for and more, so yeah, I'm sold.
Cotswold stone, quiet area. This is everything that we want. There's just something wrangling with me about it, of trying to walk through neighbours' territory, really. And I've been used to our own space the last 4 years. We haven't had to answer to anyone. But I am social, I'm not social, so I don't know. I'm really torn.
Living in an area of outstanding natural beauty does not come cheap. At almost £780,000, the average cost of a detached home in the Cotswold district of Gloucestershire is around £232,000 higher than the county as a whole. An agent based in the market town of Cirencester can give us a spotlight on the draw for buyers there.
I think it's the quality of life all through the day. In the morning, the cafe culture, if you've got a family, walking your children to school, if you're working in a Cheltenham or a city nearby, it's in half an hour and you're back at home in your garden having a glass of wine. If you've got a dog, some great walking. It's just the country pursuits around you and part of your everyday life.
If you're on a smaller budget or looking to rent, there are options. This 2-bedroom detached stone cottage in the village of Stratton has 2 reception rooms featuring exposed stonework. There's a small courtyard garden and a garage is available by separate negotiation. It's on the market for £355,000. This mid-terrace Victorian-era cottage has an open-plan ground floor layout and 2 double bedrooms set over 2 further floors. There's a south-facing garden, and it's located in a large village known for its artistic community. The guide price is £420,000. Renters with a love of water sports might consider this 3 double-bedroom home in a quiet cul-de-sac close to the lakes of the Cotswolds water park. There's a large open-plan reception area and a low-maintenance garden offered at £1,600 per calendar month.
We are enjoying such perfect summer weather in the Cotswolds. It's the morning and it's already quite warm and I've got my shorts on. So that is good news for our second day's house hunting, which of course includes the mystery house, although we do have the 2 contenders from yesterday, which are both strong but both have problems. Quite excited to see what Lindsay and Natalie think of our offering today.
And my final property for Lindsay and Natalie is a mystery offering in the market town of Minchinhampton. With a population of just under 3,500, local residents include Anne, the Princess Royal. Many of the town's stone buildings date to the 17th century when the area flourished due to the wool trade. These now house a range of shops and services, plus options for eating out. And on the outskirts of town, overlooking Gatcombe Water, I've got a mystery house to reveal.
Just outside Minchinhampton, got a big valley, and then in a valley, a big lake because of a dam. What does that all spell? It spells a mill.
There's been a water mill here since at least the 14th century, but by the early 19th century, steam power and additional buildings saw the site become a vast textile supplier. And it's said the cloth produced here would stretch to the company's London offices 90 miles away. Whether or not that's a yarn, one thing's for sure, some of the buildings now make for some very beautiful Grade 2 listed homes.
Wow. The great thing about mill buildings, The mill owners didn't like to spend money on illuminating all the looms. They would just have lots of natural light on both sides. So here, it's now the bright light space that our ladies might live in.
But I'll have to wait and see whether the mystery twist lights up their faces, because although they get access to beautiful landscaped surroundings, the private outside space is by far the smallest I've shown them.
Hello.
So, the mystery house.
The mystery.
Yeah. So, it is old,
Yep.
1700s, but it's also new, renovated in 2007.
Interesting.
This half of this property, but it's got a few surprises.
Okay.
So there isn't an awful lot of outside space, but you do have all of this beautiful, I don't know if you've made it up to the lake, so fantastic walking for Billy,
Yeah.
right on your doorstep. But this is your outside space.
Okay.
Shall we look inside?
Yes, please.
Come on.
Thank you.
Entered by its own front door, this Grade 2 listed freehold home is laid over 3 levels, beginning on the open plan ground floor.
Come on in.
Ooh, wow. Wow. Great space.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Very spacious.
It's lovely and light.
This feels more than ample. Love the big window as well in the kitchen and here.
You have been talking about wanting more space. And this house has a particular bonus.
Ooh.
It's not upstairs,
Okay.
it's downstairs.
Is it a nightclub?
It's a nightclub!
We may laugh, but there's an element of truth in that. A large, lower ground games room with vaulted glass ceiling.
It could be a nightclub. It's got a pool table.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Really good.
What a space.
It's really hot today and it's really cool down here. It's a really good space just to relax.
Well, interestingly, the previous owners used this as their main bedroom.
Oh, did they?
It's a
Wow.
bedroom living space. It's a lot more than you asked for, because there are 4 bedrooms as well. But then again, there might be some reconfiguring that you might want to do there. So have a look upstairs and then we can meet afterwards to discuss the price.
Perfect. Thank you.
This lower ground floor also features a shower room and separate WC, and the first of the 4 bedrooms.
Big enough, isn't it? Could this whole downstairs be an accommodation space for if we have guests? It's already got a shower.
Yeah,
This could be guest bedroom.
it could. I think we need to see upstairs, don't we?
We do. Let's go and do that.
Let's go.
2 flights up, the home's further 3 bedrooms include a good-sized guest double with areas of exposed stonework and a bathroom with an integrated shower and tub. Then an option for Natalie and Lindsay is a large ensuite double room.
Ooh. Wow. Good size.
Great size.
I could see this working for us. If this is kind of the main bedroom, this would be ample size, wouldn't it? Lovely.
Next to this, a smaller room is bedroom 4.
You could
Take
knock
that wall
through,
out.
make
And
this
this-
into a bit of a dressing area.
Yeah, it could be.
So that completes the inside. Outside there is a small private garden, but the mystery twist is they get access to beautiful shared grounds. There's a charge of a little over £700 a year for maintenance of the communal space, but the location does mean lots of landscaped dog walking on their doorstep.
This is a good thing to have at the bottom of your garden, surely.
That's quite something, isn't it?
It'd be nice to come up here with Billy.
It would. It would. I can imagine sitting along here, reading a book with picnic blanket. It's quite special.
What do you think the price tag on this unusual property is?
I'm going to say around about £575,000.
I think this might actually be over budget. £615,000.
This is actually on the market for £595,000.
Okay. Okay.
This Grade 2 listed converted mill is just below their maximum budget. It has an open plan kitchen and living area, a huge lower ground games room, 4 bedrooms, and there is scenic lakeside access nearby.
I really liked that it was an old mill that's been converted, that's clearly had all the modern trimmings, but there wasn't much outdoor space for entertaining for the dog.
Yeah, just the sort of small area that was gravelled didn't really sing like maybe some of the other properties that we've seen.
Well, that's our lot in terms of property, but let's remove ourselves from this spot and then let's chew the fat on what we've seen.
Perfect.
Natalie and Lindsay are looking to buy their home in Gloucestershire's Cotswold district. But a little further north in Warwickshire, one couple recently made the leap from the Berkshire town of Reading to rent on the very rural edges of the Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty. Meet Roxy and Joe.
I think our lifestyle has actually become a lot more relaxed since moving to the countryside.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. We appreciate all those small things a lot more.
We've been able to learn how to grow vegetables and stuff.
Yeah, we've become quite self-sufficient, really.
So I actually work from home. I run my own wedding and lifestyle photography business, and I can do all of that from the comfort of my own office.
So one of my favourite things to do is actually take our cat Luna out for walks around here, and I think she's just safer and she can feel more relaxed as well.
One thing that I would say that I really love about living in the Cotswolds is I can just get lost in my environment. Just having that peace and tranquility is something that we both adore, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Although they're only 4 months into their Cotswold adventure, Joe and Roxy seem to be really loving it. So I thought it'd be really nice to pop in and see them in the flesh and find out whether the countryside life is really living up to their expectations. Hey, Roxy.
Hi, Alistair.
Hi, can I come in?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's so good to meet you guys.
Yeah.
We so often focus on buying houses without huge budgets, so it's actually really nice to meet people who are renting. Was it difficult to find somewhere to rent in the country?
I would say it was pretty difficult. We've been looking for about 12 months, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we first saw this property, it was on the market in separate rooms. So I think it was about £500 or £600 per room per month. But we decided to just ask the landlord, can we take the whole house? And fortunately enough, I think we managed to get a good deal, really.
Did you find that it's a bit more personal in the countryside?
I grew up in the Rhondda Valleys in Wales, so I'm quite used to a sense of community, or even just walking down the street and saying hello to somebody.
And have you noticed that here in the village you can do that?
Well, yeah, definitely. That's probably what I like most about living here and becoming an active part of the village. So we can nip next door for a bit of milk, for example, if we're lacking that. And I really enjoy it, yeah. I've sort of missed it.
So we've talked a lot about the positives, but are there any cons to living in the countryside?
Yeah, of course. One thing that Joe's found difficult is he doesn't have a driving licence. And especially where we live, we don't have a village shop, we don't have a pub, we don't have anything, it's just houses. And so then the nearest town is a 5-minute drive. Sometimes you can feel isolated because you don't have the convenience.
I would say one main thing is we're big foodies, but it's rather difficult getting takeaway foods here. It's even quite difficult to make a call for delivery, really. The reception isn't that great in the area. So if you wanted to work remotely, you need to make sure that you have a pretty superior connection.
But one thing they do now have is homegrown produce.
Ah, these raised beds are good.
Yeah, being busy, planting things.
Looking after the rhubarb that we've got back
Rhubarb's
here.
looking really good.
We've actually traded some of this with next door.
Oh, really? You got good neighbours?
Yes.
Yeah, they make jam, crumble, pickles. They
So you
do
give
all
them the
sorts.
rhubarb and they give you the finished crumble?
Yeah,
the
they do.
finished
Yeah,
product.
it's easy then. You don't. We don't have to bake or anything.
We just do the growing.
Have you noticed that it's living in the countryside has saved you money?
We're spending less because we don't have everything on our doorstep, so we're not being tempted by takeaways. Instead, we're we're actually making all of our own meals and stuff, which is actually quite good. And then like we can go for walks, and that's obviously a free activity. We don't need to pay to keep ourselves busy, really. It means we can save a little bit more for other things that we want to do too.
If somebody was coming to you and saying, OK, we're young, we're in our 20s, we're tired of the rat race and we wanted to move to the countryside, would you say yay or nay?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I wouldn't change it. I'd much rather be here, and I would totally recommend it to anybody my age, I think. Yeah.
Lots to take away there from Joe and Roxy's experience. Now to see whether we found our other self-confessed foodie couple their countryside home.
Natalie and Lindsay are pretty succinct in expressing whether they like or dislike a property, and I'm pretty sure they're not so keen on the mystery house. But I have heard on the grapevine that one of our previous properties is back in the framework. So let's find out which one. Look at this. Good thing about the Cotswolds, you always get a view with your drink.
That is quite
Scenery and a half.
It's good, isn't it?
quite something. Yeah.
OK, spill the beans. How are we feeling at the end of our house buying journey?
I think it's been a really positive experience. We'd like to go back and maybe see number one.
Number one?
I know.
That's a
surprise,
curveball.
surprise.
At the time, we said we wanted some comparisons. And now that we've finished seeing all the houses and we've got that comparison, we do have some reservations, but we do want to go back because the view is just so spectacular.
I'm hoping, we'll go and see it again tomorrow and we'll maybe have a decision and possibly make an offer.
I think that we're in the place where we know where we want to be. Our position is strong because we have a cash buyer and we're nearly at exchange.
Well, we'd be delighted if you bought one of our houses.
We are going to keep you posted and we will only invite you back if it's weather like this.
Oh, it's always weather like this in the Cotswolds, always. I've been to the Cotswolds a lot, obviously, because of this wonderful show, and I do notice that some people get completely mesmerised by all that honeycomb stone and those quaint villages and the hot summer sun. And what's been wonderful showing Lindsay and Natalie around the Cotswolds is that they're so sharp-eyed. They don't miss anything. So I really hope that they do find the house that they want. I would love it to be the first house. And that they move here, because the Cotswolds needs their bracing energy. And we need you to come and join us next time on Escape to the Country.
In the end, Natalie and Lindsay decided the first house was not the one for them. But they continued looking and, I'm pleased to announce, are now happily ensconced in the Cotswold district market town of Moreton-in-Marsh. I, for one, am delighted it worked out for them. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Northern Ireland, Scotland or Wales and need our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/take part.